We are very honored today to have all of you here. It's a great privilege for us, and we are just so excited about the great events that are going on, and it's because of your help and what you have helped us to achieve that students for years to come will be able to go over into this beautiful reading nook and read some of their favorite books. And so again, on behalf of Anderson High School, we're just honored to have all of you here with us. I just want to say thank you to the mayor. He's joining us for this great occasion, and also we have the district governor, or the Rotary district governor, here with us as well. So that is also a great honor for us to have so many dignitaries in this building at one time. So again, on behalf of Anderson High School, thank you for coming out. Thank you for helping us to be able to help our students develop a love for reading, something that will last forever. So again, thank you to all of you. I'm going to turn it over to Mrs. Debbie Webb.
So I guess I need to say Mr. Davis, right, since we're in the school and follow school etiquette, but I am honored to be here as well. And I'm a past president of the Anderson Rotary Club, but a hat that more of you around this building know me as is the advisor for the Interact Club and also the Youth Exchange Officer. So we are delighted to be here today to dedicate the leisure reading area at Anderson High School. I want to acknowledge our Interact president this year, Aaliyah Sills, our president-elect for next year, Sharon Kalei, and then our Interact member and also our Rotary Youth Exchange student, Rico Sumura. And so we're pleased, and of course, Cameron Pratt. So they are a lot of the reason why we do so much at Anderson High School. So we're very proud to have them be a part of this. So next I want to introduce Janet Brewer. She is no stranger to libraries. She is the library director for Anderson University. And Janet is also a past president of our club. And as I mentioned, she helped coordinate and make this happen. Janet.
Thank you. Well, thank you. It is my pleasure to welcome you to this finally completed project. It's been a work in progress most of the year. We started meeting, oh gosh, I don't know when, but Ellen and I met together, talked about, dreamed about what this might look like, what kind of furniture might be needed, just all kinds of decisions, what would go good with the carpet, all of those kinds of things to consider. And I'm so pleased to see the final project finally come to fruition and to see the wall treatment that honors both Rotary and Anderson High School, that combination, that partnership with our youth. So I'm so happy that, again, we were able to work together and create this space, and I look forward to it being here for a long time and getting lots of good use. I think we made some good choices for furniture, et cetera, and what I saw the other day, students were very comfortable and we're already claiming it as their own. So we are very pleased. Thank you so much. Okay, I'm going to introduce the next person too. Thank you. Leroy is up next. Leroy is our current president. We're very glad to have him here with us now. He's a friend to this community. He's been around here for a while now, although you'll notice a distinctive Caribbean accent. He's been our president here for this centennial year, a very important year to our club. So President Leroy, would you say a few words here?
Thank you, Janet. And indeed, I want to, again, say that I am delighted to be a part of this, this project. And, what we are doing here today is really a visible, tangible way of giving evidence to our commitment, our Rotary Club's commitment to this community. As we look back and think about Rotary's life here in Anderson, there is not an institution, public institution, that we have not had some influence. And particularly in terms of Anderson Rotary Club's involvement in education. We are not only engaged, we are committed, and in some tangible ways, we have made some financial investments in education, in the education of our children in this community. Here are some evidence. Annually, we have granted approximately 4,000 in scholarship to high school students. We have given recognition and awards to high school athletes of character and scholarship, offered encouragement to teachers through an Apple for Teachers campaign that we have done in the past, where we simply went into schools and gave words of encouragement to teachers and gave an apple to those teachers. Our club members have engaged in reading to elementary students, providing books to students in elementary schools, and in addition, each year we place a foreign exchange student in our high school. This year's exchange student is from Japan, Riko Tomara, who is attending this high school. And so here again, in a very small way, we have contributed tremendously to education in this community.
When we started this project, when Dr. Brewer came over and we started talking about what this could look like, what this could mean, what this could be to our students, how it could impact the learning environment here at school. I think the most powerful thing that I felt was that to sit down with a community partner and to actually talk about that shared vision as to what is doing the best stuff for our kids, that was a very exciting thing for me. And I think that as the Rotary, I think that you're an example to the community for other community partners to come in and see what we can do when we put like minds together and really plan ahead. Our students are already enjoying this, but I think that this is going to even grow. We're very excited about some recent changes here that are going to take place here at school, and this reading nook is going to be a very, very important part of that.
At this time, I would like to invite our Honorable Mayor, if he'll come and join me, and certainly he has a few words he would like to share with us.
Thank you very much. And first off, I'd just like to congratulate all of you guys and everything you've done with Interact and all the hard work that you put forth. This obviously is really about the students and about our future. I want to thank the folks from the Chamber that are here and the rest of the business community that came out for this exciting time. As an alumni of Anderson High School, it's always good to come back to Anderson. Once upon a time, we know this building was not called Anderson, but actually was here as well as a junior high student back in Madison Heights Junior High days. And I can tell you the library has changed a little bit. But while the library has changed, obviously the need for literacy hasn't. And so it is so exciting to see that Rotary has stepped up to meet the needs of the folks here at Anderson High School to continue to be able to provide for our young students as they move on into the 21st century. It is so important that they continue to be able to further their education and go back to the traditions of reading and other areas of literacy that's been discussed here today. So today is, of course, a big day for Rotary. As they were mentioned a moment ago, it's 100 years. There's going to be 3 separate events today, and no better way to kick off the day than to do something on behalf of students. So to the Rotary folks, let me say thank you. And again, to Anderson High School, congratulations, and to you young folks, congratulations as well, and thank you for all of your hard work. Thank you.
And on behalf of the city of Anderson, the Rotary International, and the Rotary Club of Anderson, let's do this. 3, 2, 1. All right. Good job, guys. Great teamwork.
We are glad that you could join us under these blue skies and the sunshine as we dedicate this beautiful slide that's behind me. My name's Debbie Webb. I'm a member of the Anderson Rotary Club, and I have the honor today to recognize the dignitaries that are with us. First of all, we'd like to acknowledge District 6560 District Governor Bryce Adam. Also, we have District Governor nominee Charles Shoemate over here, our club president Leroy Quashie. We have the Honorable Thomas Broderick, Mayor of the City of Anderson. Also joining us today are Tom Tackett from the Parks Department that helped to install this gorgeous slide. And we have a representative today from Miracle Midwest, the supplier of the slide, John Day. Next, I'd like to welcome the mayor of the city of Anderson, Thomas Broderick. Mayor?
Well, thank you, Debbie, and thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for being here today. This is an exciting day. As you know, Rotary is in the process of celebrating 100 years of service here in the United States, and particularly in our community. And they have done a great job today. There are going to be 3 events today that we're going to take part in at the Rotary. We were at the high school earlier today where they had donated for a literacy area for children to have opportunities to read that they don't necessarily have today. And that was a great event. And now here we are today out at Pulaski Park. The city of Anderson is extremely proud of its park system and of its parks. Pulaski Park goes back many years and has served many children and many families. And we're very fortunate to have a very good park department. And Tom Tackett, that was mentioned a moment ago, our maintenance superintendent, is here. And he's done a great job along with his staff in maintaining this park as well as the others. And so we're so very proud today to have the opportunity to thank the Anderson Rotary Club for making this slide behind me possible. I can imagine the numerous hours that children are going to have playing on this and experiencing the fun of youth. And as you can tell behind me, that's already started and has been going on for a while now. So they don't need anything too official to get going. They're looking forward to it, and we are too. So let me again thank you all for being here. I'd like to thank the folks of the Chamber and also the folks of the local business community that are here, and particularly the Rotary for their kind contributions. And so now at this time, it's my pleasure to introduce Leroy Cloichy, the president of the Anderson Rotary Club. Thank you, sir.
And I was sharing with Debbie earlier today that this is quite an honor for me to be able in my year as president to be celebrating all of these wonderful things taking place here in this community. But really it's a testament to Rotary itself and all of the people who have gone on ahead of us. Hundreds of leaders have been involved in impacting this community. But I want to, to say something with regards to this park, so that those of you who are gathered here and may not be aware of the fact, this park is the project that we are about to dedicate provides further evidence of the financial commitment and investment in this community. In 2010, under the leadership of Janet Brewer, where's Janet? Right over there. Janet Brewer was the president of our club during that time, and it was under her leadership that in collaboration with the United Way of Madison County, we provided funds for what is called the Born Learning Trail. And if you have an opportunity just to go around, you will see what this really was all about. Because the Born Learning Trail that is located in this park, it comprises of a series of 10 interactive signs that offer fun, active learning activities for young children and their families. But also the sign in this park is in Spanish and English. And what that means is that we are committed as a city and we are committed as a club to diversity, but also integration. So given the initial investment in 2010, we decided that we wanted to enhance that investment, and thus we are dedicating the swing. And as the mayor said, and all of us we are witness to, it is already a popular part of this park. So I am honored and I am very, 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 very privileged to be a part of this day and the events that will follow.
Yeah. Ready? You want to help cut the ribbon? Okay, here we go. Oh, hey! Yay! Great job! Did we get it?
It is now my privilege to introduce again our Mayor, Thomas Broderick Jr.
Thank you, Stephanie. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's very good to be here this evening. As you may know, today's been a very exciting day for the folks of Rotary. This is the third event that I've been at with regards to Rotary. Earlier today, because of the kind donations of the Rotarians, the young children and students at Anderson High School had the opportunity to have the dedication of a new facility at their library that will allow them to become more involved with literacy. And it was a great event, and it was well attended, and the folks from Intercept that are here tonight took part in that, and I tell you what, they were so excited about the opportunities that are going to be given to them because of the graciousness of the Rotaries here in Anderson. Later on in the afternoon, we had the chance to go out to Pulaski Park. The City of Anderson is very proud of our parks, but we were particularly proud of the donation that the Rotarians gave to the park that allowed for a large slide that the kids couldn't keep off of while we were in the process of trying to dedicate the slide. And I can tell you that it was really a great event. And so I want to thank you on behalf of the City of Anderson for all of your continuing support of this community. It runs deep and has run long, and it really is a true legacy, and I want to thank you very much personally for that. You know, when you have 3 events in one day over the same club, it reminded me of a joke, but I can't tell it. So instead, I will move on to a proclamation, and I will read it in its relevant parts. It says, whereas the Rotary Club of Anderson was organized on July 10th of 1917 by 41 civic leaders and received its charter from Rotary International February 1st of 1918. And the Rotary Club of Anderson was the 354th club to receive a charter and has been making a difference in this community for over 100 years. The Rotary motto, service above self, inspires members to provide humanitarian service, encourage high ethical standards, and promote goodwill and peace in the world. And whereas the 121 men and women of the Anderson Rotary Club have supported initiatives to eradicate polio around the world, sponsored service projects to address critical issues such as poverty, health, hunger, literacy, and the environment in their local community and abroad. And whereas the Anderson Rotary Club has had 4 district governors serve the Rotary International District 6560, those being Russell Shoemaker, John Showalter, Robert Shoemaker, Charles Laughlin, and Charles All Shoemate will serve as its 5th from 2019 to 2020. Robert Shoemaker also served as the director of Rotary International from 1979 to 1981. Since organizing the Interact Club in September of '97, more than 1,200 high school students have been empowered to take action, develop leadership skills, gain a global perspective while discovering the power of service above self. And the Anderson Rotary Club is the oldest service club in Anderson and promotes international understanding through hosting Rotary Youth Exchange Student Annual in our community. The Anderson Rotary Club on this date dedicated a new centennial slide at Pulaski Park and a new leisure reading area at the Anderson High School Media Center in support of the education and literacy of our community in honor of this club's 100th anniversary. And the club members and our neighbors are friends, leaders, problem solvers who see the world where people unite and take action to create lasting change across the globe and in our community and in ourselves. Therefore, now, as the mayor of the city, do hereby proclaim today, May 11, 2018, as Rotary Day in Anderson and encourage all citizens in this community to join me in recognizing the Anderson Rotary Club for its more than 100 years of service to improving the human condition in our community and around the world. Thank you so very much.
I am Leroy Kwashi and serve currently as the president of our Anderson Rotary Club. And I have been mulling through a lot of what has happened today. And I said to someone, I don't drink, but it is almost as though I needed bourbon to get me through this day. It has been a wonderful day indeed, with all of the people who have gathered to join with us in this very, very, very special moment. As I stand here before you this evening, I reflect on how much the former leaders of our club have informed, inspired, and provided vision to my term as president of the Anderson Rotary Club 2017-18. Leaders such as Laura Rich, these are all my contemporaries, Leslie Davison Mattingly, Thomas B. Smith, John Collier, Rodney Cummins, Donald Vogt, Thomas Bannon, Betty Crum, Keith Trent, Omar McCall, Pam Coletti, David Porter, Dana Donahue, Debbie Webb, Janet Brewer, Lisa Floyd, David Welsheimer, Charles Shumate, Randall Hamill, and Stephanie Moran. And also, again, my good friend, and that would be Brian Donahue. These are all individuals, my contemporaries, that in some way informed my leadership during my term. However, my life as a Rotarian has been shaped in part by Dr. T. Franklin Miller and the recipient of tonight's Rotarian of the Century recognition. The Anderson Rotary Club has had a rich history of leadership in our community. Evidence. The Anderson Rotary Club is the oldest service club, as has been mentioned, and we have to recognize one of the names on that list, and I did bring with me, the sort of a historical document of all of the presidents of the Anderson Rotary Club. And one of the names that is on that list is the person by the name of Colonel W. Hoffman, president of the American Playground. And some of you may be familiar with that name. Device Company had come back from his many trips to Chicago, New York, and Washington, D.C., with the urge to found a Rotary Club. On July 10, 1917, Hoffman met with some other self-starting citizens at the Grand Hotel to form a local club with the hope and objective of eventually becoming a part of Rotary International. The club was elected to the International Association of Rotary Clubs on February 1, 1918, and identified as the 354th club to be chartered. 30 years later, on March 1, 1948, a 26-year-old Harvard grad became the youngest member of the club. Today, he is the oldest member. Bob Shoemaker has witnessed 70 years of Anderson Rotary Club's history. And he has been very instrumental to the success not only of our club, but left his imprint on District 6560 as district governor and served as Rotary International Director from 1979 to 1981. Bob has friends from all over the world through Rotary. Friendships he has made and nurtured as an RI director. Attendee at 25 international conventions, and from his work as one of the founders of Central States Rotary Youth Exchange. Bob Shoemaker has had perfect attendance, and I want you to hear this, friends. He has had perfect attendance since 1958. And if you do the math, we're talking about 60 years of perfect attendance. Bob says his most rewarding accomplishment was helping found Central State Rotary Youth Exchange and serving that organization for 30 years. He states that the impact that Rotary Youth Exchange makes on young people has been profound. Bob has seen firsthand how these exchange students have learned to dream bigger dreams, and the confidence and maturity gained from their exchange teaches them they are capable of accomplishing more. He is engaged, active, respected, and much admired member of our club, ambassador, mentor, and because of this, I want to ask you to join me as we salute our Bob Shoemaker, who is our person of the century. Bob, will you stand? Please welcome Debbie Webb.
Thank you, Leroy. It has been a wonderful day to be an Anderson Rotarian. As several people have mentioned, that we had several dedications today in which we commemorated our leisure reading area at Anderson High School, and then we had a second dedication at Pulaski Park. And we wanted to choose some legacy projects that would leave an imprint on our 100 years of service. So we were very thrilled with the turnout for today. And when we look at the reading area at Anderson High School, the purpose was to provide a quiet and comfortable place for students that they could read independently and include a comfortable seating, end tables, chairs, cubes, and a sofa. And then the second dedication included the purchase of a freestanding typhoon slide. And as the mayor said, there were several children that were enjoying themselves very much today during our dedication. And Pulaski Park is located on the southeast side of Anderson. It's one of the highest used parks in our community, and it serves an ethnically diverse, lower socioeconomic neighborhood. So we're delighted that we could make that kind of impact. And of course, the objective of the Rotary Learning Space is to encourage literacy and the enjoyment of reading. And the slide installation at Pulaski Park encourages healthy, diverse play and interactions for children aged 2 to 15. And next, I want to turn my attention to the Interact Club, because it's been a big part of our club's history for 20 years. In fact, the club is celebrating its 20th anniversary this year. The club came to be when a young high school student served as an interpreter for the visiting GSE team from Venezuela in April 1997. He learned about a Rotary program from the visiting team for high school students called Interact. Well, Rotary made such a big impression on this sophomore in high school that he decided that his high school needed an Interact Club too. And he began his campaign to make that happen by constantly bugging club president Leslie Davison Mattingly to start a club. Well, Juan's persistence paid off. He became the club's first club president. It was organized September 15th, 1997, and chartered June 25th, 1998. The club is a community-based club. They meet weekly from September through March at a local church. And I've been part of that journey from the past 20 years, and Interact truly is a family affair. As we have so many siblings be part of the club, they propose their friends for membership and bring their younger siblings in as members as well. In fact, 4 of the young people here this evening are also, part of that family legacy, that there's a brother and sister, and there's some students here that are, the second and third member of their family to be part of Interact. The students have raised over $7,000 for Polio Plus since 2008, with total giving to the Rotary Foundation of more than $9,300. The students are happiest when they are serving their community. They log hundreds of hours each year volunteering for Coats for Caring, Second Harvest Food Bank, the Christian Center, and Alternatives, a domestic violence shelter. The club has also provided funding for wheelchairs and fire trucks from Mexico. In fact, we even had 2 students that traveled to Mexico with the DG team when the fire trucks were delivered. The students wanted to create a legacy of their service and leadership at their school to commemorate their 20th anniversary, so they decided on a tree planting project in honor of your visit, Ian. The students conducted a fundraiser this year, and they're going to be able to plant 6 to 8 foot trees in the senior courtyard later this month. Today, the club consists of 49 students. We are fortunate to have 8 members with us tonight. Will you please stand as I call your name? President Aaliyah Sills, President-elect Sharon Kalali, Vice President Megan Moran, members Emma Behrens, Evan Behrens, Simon Bell, Hannah Stockwell, and she's host sister to our Rotary Exchange student, Rico Tsumara. So please join me in saluting these young people of action.
Before I introduce our guests tonight, Ian and Juliet Risley, I want to congratulate the Rotary Club of Anderson. You know, it's important in life to celebrate significant occasions with our families, with our business, and in Rotary. Celebrating success is important, and that's what we're doing tonight. What would this community look like without the Rotary Club, having been here and doing good for so many years? I have no doubt that your second century of service will be even greater and more inspired than the first, making a difference in this community. Happy birthday, come on, happy birthday. Thank you. I am delighted to introduce to you tonight your honored guests, Ian and Juliet Risley. Now, as I said last night, Ian, there are 35,600 Rotary clubs in the world, and Ian has chosen to be here. He can't go to all of them, and he's chosen to be with you. I have served for these past 10 months and 11 days on the board of Rotary International, representing all of you from the heart of America, 13 states, 26 districts, 60,000 Rotarians strong. And I can tell you that Ian Risley is a man of vision, a man of passion. He has a great sense of humor. And I think, most importantly, he demonstrates the important virtue of humility. Ian's entire life, ladies and gentlemen, has been about putting people together. He is a charter member of the Rotary Club of Sandringham, Victoria, Australia. Spouse Juliet, past district governor, is the charter president of the Rotary Club of Hampton and has had a long and distinguished career in library and information science. They live in Muruduk, where they practice their personal philosophy of sustainable and organic living. They have 2 children and 4 grandchildren. Ladies and gentlemen, will you please extend a warm welcome to our 107th president of our great organization, Rotary International, Ian H.S. Risley.
Thank you. Thanks very much. I have just one word for you, Greg Yank. No. In fact, that story that Greg told is absolute rubbish. It's a figment of his imagination, but he likes to say it, so that's nice. I've also got to say that there's a few people here tonight who had the pleasure of being at last night's centenary in Bloomington, and it says something about this part of the world where your centenary of service is coming on to Rotary, and it's wonderful. I have to say also that because Floyd, and also this is Juliet, my second actual visit to Indiana, to Hoosierville, and the last time was to enjoy the centenary of Elkhart. Floyd and Greg were at that event as well. So this is the third time they've heard me talk about the celebration of a centenary of a Rotary Club. Hereafter, I suggest that one of you should do this, and I'll sit down. That'd be nice. And again, for those of you that were there last night, forgive me if I repeat some of my comments, because let's face it, a centenary is a very interesting and engaging time, and I need to say so. Bob Shoemaker, I worked out that you joined Rotary the year I was born. So every time I feel old, and these days I do, Bob, I'm going to remember that. My friend, you're looking spectacularly well, and sincere congratulations for being the local Rotarian of the century. It's a fabulous effort, so bravo. And it's good to see the support that the Rotary Club in Anderson has from the local fellow clubs around and about. People have come from hundreds of miles away to join you tonight to celebrate. I couldn't help but note in the earlier narrative that I think it was the 1st of February was the charter date. It takes you a while to get organised, and I point out we're halfway through May, but that's really good. But that means, folks, that you are over 3 months into your 2nd century of service, so don't stop now. That's really good. I want to say what a pleasure it is to come to an event like this. When Juliet and I sat down at the very start of our planning process, one of the things we said we wanted to do, there are 2 basic things that we said were places we wanted to visit. The first one is places where the president of Rotary hadn't been. And there are a lot, as was said, there's a lot of clubs and a lot of parts of the world where Rotary is. So we said, let's see if we can go to places where presidents haven't been. Indiana is not one of those places. But the second one was, can we go to places where they are celebrating significant anniversaries? And there's nothing more significant than a century of service. Hence our enthusiastic acceptance of the invitation to be here. So I appreciate the pleasure of your company this evening, and also the warm welcome that we've received, and the friendship that we see right around here as Rotarians. Rotarians are friends. I think that one of the glues that holds Rotary together is the friendships that we develop and we generate. A lot of people say they join Rotary for the chance to make a difference, to serve, to improve the world, etc. That may be the case. My research suggests that most people join because they admire the people they know who are already Rotarians and they want to be part of that group. Then the reason they stay is because they make so many friends. So what's important for our organisation to keep flourishing in your club and elsewhere is to ensure that we deliver what we promise, which is service above self and lots of good activities, and you do that here, but also that we maintain an ethical but overall friendly attitude around clubs. And tonight I've had the chance to talk to folks here, and you enjoy yourselves. You enjoy yourselves here at the Rotary Club of Anderson. That is such an important thing. That's what enables you to keep serving your community locally and internationally, because you want to keep coming back to Rotary. You want to come because you enjoy yourselves. Very important. I mention friendship because when I joined Rotary, I was only 31 years of age. I was relatively young. How old were you, Bob? 26 or 7 when you joined, thereabouts? Yeah, okay. So he was even younger than me. And it's a bit of an indictment on our organisation that the average age of Rotarians is a little bit older than 31. Ever so slightly, that much. And when I joined, I was the youngest member of, a charter member of the Rotary Club of Sandringham. And that's not surprising when I'm 31. The bad news was, 10 years later, I was still the youngest member of the Rotary Club of Sandringham, and we need to make sure that that doesn't keep on happening. So there's so many youthful faces around here, with some exceptions, but there's so many youthful faces that's really good, because that means that we're reinventing ourselves as a group. And Rotary is good for you. It's good for you, and it's good for the community as well. Because you feel better, don't you? I'm sure you do. I certainly do. I feel better as a result of being in Rotary for so long. What I particularly admire, and it was mentioned when talking about Bob Shoemaker earlier, youth exchange. Our son, I was district chairman of Youth Exchange for 3 years. I think Youth Exchange is a wonderful Rotary program, absolutely outstanding. Our son was fortunate enough to be chosen by another Rotary club. I said, do not apply to our club. Do not apply to my club, as it was at the time. Any other club you want to go to, that's fine. I don't want my club to think, well, here comes Ian's son, we better send him when it comes time to elect one or choose one. Fortunately, one of our neighbouring clubs was delighted to choose our son, and he went to Sweden for a year. He still speaks Swedish, normally when he's swearing at someone, but he still speaks Swedish, and has friends in Sweden. We have visited four of his host families just last year, because they heard we were coming nearby, and they gathered together to celebrate the fact that in 1990, whatever it was, 1992. I bring my fact checker with me everywhere. 1992, our son spent 12 months in Sweden. It's a great program. And Central States, our Rotary district, used to exchange with Central States all those years ago. And I know, Bob, you were one of the driving forces behind Rotary Youth Exchange in Central States. A fellow called Wes Rush, I recall, who I think has passed on. He was the guy we used to exchange information with. He was able to convince us to take students from Central States when no one else could, so that was impressive. I need to say to you that sometimes I'm an accountant, as was already said, and to those 5 people who are courageous enough to stand up, there's nothing wrong with being an accountant. Can I point that out? But I am interested in facts and figures. That's the sort of a fact of life. And therefore, normally, people don't want to hear accountants speak, because they sort of lapse into figures, which can be ever so slightly off-putting. But of course, for an event like this, we have one figure that we're thinking of. We're thinking of 100. 100 years of service as a result of the hard work of the people here in Anderson. And I do need to tell you that at the start of the year, as I mentioned, I wanted to come to as many of these as possible. So being a very smart Australian accountant, I thought, how can I script the speech that I do for something like a centennial? So I said to the people in the archives, send me up a list of all of the themes that we've used in Rotary. I'll choose the one that was 100 years ago or 75 years ago or whatever it is, and I'll build my speech around that theme. Brilliant. Unfortunately, that grand plan was almost instantly dashed when I discovered that Rotary themes are in fact not 113 years old or even 100 years old. The first of them was in 1957-58. So as a result of which, I can't use the theme back then and tell you all about what you're doing as a club. So I'll just have to stick to facts. And the facts are that if you think about the achievements of this club, as Greg said earlier, stop yawning, Greg, this is serious. I glance at my director and he's yawning. Come on. Why didn't you change your own tyre, by the way? I believe that I understand. I have it on good authority that the nail in the wheel was thrown by Floyd Lancer as he went past. But let's not dwell on that. That's not true, is it, Floyd? No. Okay. It was. Oh, that's disappointing. Okay. Can't you change your own tyres, Beck? You can't change the wheel? Okay, all right. Okay, I'm changing the subject here rapidly because I can get myself into trouble. But it's only when someone like Greg Yank tells the most bald-faced lies about me putting forward a proposal to ban alcohol from Rotary events, as if, I mean, I'm Australian, as if I'm going to ban alcohol from Rotary events. Not going to happen. I want you to reflect. I want you to reflect on 100 years of service. And it's not just local service. We've heard about lots of things you've done. The support, we've heard about the support that your Interact Club has given to polio eradication. I had the privilege of being a trustee of the Rotary Foundation for 4 years and a member of the Global Polio Eradication Initiative team and the Polio Plus team. Those of you that can't hear that, there's something on his phone saying, Charles, do you want me to answer it for you, Charles? That'd be all right. Okay, good. Oh, isn't that fun? It does remind me of a similar occasion like this when then Vice President Jennifer Jones was sitting right there and her phone rang. And she went, fumble, 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 fumble. And I said, Jennifer, who was it? And she said, it was John Hugo, General Secretary of Rotary International. I said, give me the phone. So I rang John back on the phone in front of all of these people. He was beautifully embarrassed. It was wonderful. So back to polio eradication. 350,000 cases of polio per year back in 1985. We really started in 1979. A grant from the Rotary Foundation immunised 6.6 million children in the nation of the Philippines. As a result of that, polio was eradicated in the Philippines. And that encouraged the directors and trustees at the time, not exactly unanimously, to consider we can do this for the world. Achieved for the Philippines, we can do this for the world. 1,000 cases a day. It was going to be $125 million US by 2005. I don't know whether you've noticed, but we've gone past 2005 and we've spent a bucket load more than $125 million, I've got to tell you. It's been harder than maybe anyone expected, but we are this close. 22 cases last calendar year, 8 so far this calendar year. So in the first 4 and a bit months, 8 cases, we are getting this close. I don't know about you, but I'm tired of this close. We need to go from there to there. And we are working really, really hard. And it can only happen because of the support of Rotary clubs like yours. And when polio is eradicated, and it will be soon, every Rotarian and every Rotary club and every Rotaract club and every Interact club will be able to celebrate long and loud because it will be an amazing health achievement. Only the second communicable, it's easy for you to say, communicable disease ever eradicated. We are this close. Must keep going. We've made a promise, a commitment to the children of the world to do this. So we have to keep the money flowing. So we've committed $50 million this year. And if we contribute $50 million, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation will give us $100 million, and the money will keep flowing and we'll keep working. So please keep on doing that. But that's an example of what clubs like yours have been able to achieve internationally over a period of time, as well as all the great work you do locally. Really, really important. I want to close with a bit of a story. If you think back to when your club was chartered 100 years ago, what was the world like then? There certainly wasn't the capacity to have phones ring at your table. There wasn't the capacity to fly instantly, not instantly, quickly from one side of the world to the other. The world has changed a lot in that period of time, 100 years. What hasn't changed is the fact that Rotary believes in an ethical approach to things and is committed to making a difference. There's that theme again that we haven't got here, Rotary making a difference. Really important that we think about the fact that the world changes, we change with it. We are more flexible now in the ways in which we are able to conduct our meetings, etc. But what doesn't change is the dedication of Rotarians. Who here has ever heard of the great game of cricket? Oh, okay, that's a lot. I'm allowed to say that surprises me because it's a game that is associated with countries of the British Empire, if you like. That's where it all started. Of course, including the famous Port of Spain ground in Trinidad. Yes, I have said that. But in cricket, a century is a big deal. When a batsman makes, or batter, we can't say batsman anymore because women are becoming very central to the game of cricket. When a batter makes 100 runs, everyone applauds, everyone celebrates. The batter doffs the cap, celebrates, everyone shakes hands. But the important thing is the really, really good players don't then throw their wicket away having reached such a significant milestone. What they do is, I used to describe, before I became a lover of the Boston Red Sox, I used to describe, and that's a long story, I used to describe cricket as the thinking person's baseball. I now understand that there's a lot more to baseball than I first thought. But anyway, it's a great game. And I led a group study exchange team to Boston in 1997. I went to Fenway Park and it was like a pilgrimage. It was wonderful. But anyway, back to cricket. What's important is that you then take block, as we say, you mark out your spot on the crease, you concentrate, you look around the field, and you dedicate yourself to keeping going. You dedicate yourself to another 100 runs. My request of you, my advice to you, be like that. Be like the cricketer who's made a century. Check your block, look on, and work on towards another 100 years of great service to the community locally and further. I wish the Rotary Club of Anderson the greatest of success for at least another 100 years of service. I do have something to present. And President Lira, would you mind joining me up here, please? I signed all of these because there aren't a huge number of them. This is a certificate honouring 100 years of membership of Rotary International by the Rotary Club of Anderson, Indiana, USA. Admitted on the 1st of February 1918, it's recognised for its dedication to the object of Rotary and its commitment to the ideal of service above self. President Leroy, on behalf of your club, may I ask you to accept this and my most sincere congratulations on your centenary. So we need a photograph. And thank you for your welcome here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. It's very kind. Thank you.
This part of the process is just my own response. So friends, as I reflect on this year's centennial celebration, It has been a deeply honoring, yet a very humbling experience to be entrusted with the leadership of this great club in this moment of its illustrious history. I deem it a very special gift, one that very few Rotarians would have received. And what I mean by that, not too many. We have had great leadership in our club, but for some reason, by providence probably, that I have been called and entrusted with the leadership at this particular time. During the course of this year, I am often reminded that this celebration is a tribute to the hundreds of Rotarians that came before us and have laid the foundation for what we now recognize and have celebrated. I became a Rotarian and member of the Anderson Rotary Club 21 years ago. As a result, Rotary has added much value and richness to my life. It has provided an additional venue to serve others locally and globally. The friendship formed and partnership developed in the Rotary Club with its rich history of service to improve the quality of life in the community and support to humanitarian efforts and encouragement of high ethical standards in business and professional endeavors, its enviable reputation nationally and internationally as a result of Bob Shoemaker and many others for the quality of its leadership and contributions to Rotary International is an exceptionally rewarding experience for me, one I will always cherish. I am personally indebted to Ms. Debbie Webb, Centennial Chairperson and past Club President 2009-2010, and her team for their great work in making this quality event possible. Would you join me in celebrating Debbie and all of you who have been a part of this team that make this evening so special? Will you please stand? You see, because of my position as president of the club this year, I have received a lot of the recognitions. But I want to say to you, those of you who are our friends and you've come together with us here tonight, it is all of the Anderson Rotary Club coming together to make this a very special event. And I am only the benefactor of this goodwill. In addition, I am indebted to you, fellow club members, who participated in numerous service projects. Paul Harris campaign as part of our centennial celebration. You are the best. Thank you. And yes, we are honored again to have Rotary International President Ian Risley here to celebrate this special moment with us. Thank you very much. You could have been in several other places, but you have chosen to respond positively to our invitation. Thank you. As we begin our second century of service as a club, we will be challenged by many local, state, national, and international concerns. However, these challenges will afford us many opportunities to shine as a bright light of hope and goodwill. Together, we can continue to make a difference in the world. That's the word, make a difference in the world. And inspire others to greatness. Let us remember the words of our founder, Paul Harris. You will profit from Rotary in proportion to what you put into your efforts. I remain highly committed to the vision and mission of Rotary and to our club's present and future endeavors. Thank you for the gift of serving as your club president. Good night and safe travels.